Imagine this. The FIFA World Cup final, not in London, not in Qatar, not in Brazil, but in Zimbabwe. 90,000 people screaming in a brand new stadium in Harare, while helicopters circle overhead and vendors outside are selling freeze-its, border wars, and counterfeit Messi jerseys for $2.
Nah, stop right there. Zimbabwe hosting the World Cup? Victor, you sound like a guy who drank too much mahieu before recording this episode.
I'm serious. What if it actually happened?
No, wait, hold on. Before we even continue, do we even have enough toilets for FIFA?
And there it is. That's exactly why this conversation matters.
Welcome to Conversation Lab, where bad ideas sometimes become genius ideas.
And genius ideas sometimes collapse like a Zeza connection during load shedding.
Hi-yo. Okay, Victor, explain this properly. How does Zimbabwe even enter that conversation? Like, realistically, FIFA is not choosing countries randomly like a school raffle.
True. Hosting the World Cup is basically like applying to become temporary CEO of the planet for 1 month. You need infrastructure, airports, stadiums, hotels, security, transport systems, broadcasting capability, political stability, massive investment, and Zimbabwe currently struggles with several of those things.
Several? Victor said several, like he's trying not to hurt Zimbabwe's feelings.
Okay, many things. But here's the interesting part. The World Cup has historically been used by countries trying to transform their image. South Africa did it in 2010. Qatar did it in 2022. Even Brazil used it partly as a global branding exercise.
Yeah, but those countries had money. Zimbabwe sometimes acts like Econet bundles are a luxury product.
That's fair, but don't underestimate symbolism. If Zimbabwe somehow won a joint bid with neighboring countries, maybe Zambia, Botswana, South Africa, Mozambique, suddenly the conversation changes.
Wait. Joint bid? So basically Zimbabwe would be the guy joining a group assignment carried by stronger students?
That's one way to put it.
Guys, I brought one extension cord and positive vibes.
You're not entirely wrong, but joint hosting is becoming normal because the World Cup has expanded massively. The 2026 tournament is spread across the USA, Canada, and Mexico, so smaller economies now have a better chance if they collaborate.
Okay, let's talk money, because this is where dreams usually die dramatically. How much are we talking?
For a modern FIFA World Cup, potentially billions of dollars.
Billions? Nah, end the episode. Good night, everyone.
No, seriously. Stadium construction alone can eat insane amounts of money. Road upgrades, airports, telecommunications, hotels, security operations, power infrastructure. Qatar reportedly spent over $200 billion, though that included broader national development.
Victor, Zimbabwe hears $200 billion and immediately switches off the phone.
But here's the twist. A lot of countries regret hosting after the excitement fades.
Exactly. That's what I was waiting for. Because every time people talk about mega events, they only show fireworks and drone shots. Nobody shows the dead afterwards.
Correct. Brazil faced huge criticism after 2014 because some stadiums became underused afterward. There's even a famous term, white elephants, massive, expensive infrastructure that later sits there doing nothing.
Like building a Lamborghini garage in a village with no roads.
Exactly. So Zimbabwe would face a dangerous question. Are we building for 1 month of football or for the next 50 years?
And knowing African politicians...
Careful.
No, let me land. You know there'd be one minister trying to build a golden VIP helicopter parking lounge before fixing public transport.
That's actually one of the biggest risks, corruption. Mega events attract huge contracts. Huge contracts attract sharks in suits. Suddenly a stadium budget triples mysteriously.
A single toilet costs $90,000 somehow.
Exactly. And if transparency is weak, citizens pay the price for decades.
Okay, but if it's so risky, why do countries still fight for it?
Because the upside can be massive if managed properly. Tourism explodes, global attention increases, infrastructure improves faster, jobs are created, local businesses gain exposure.
Temporary jobs though, right?
Some temporary, yes. Construction jobs, event staffing, security, hospitality, but long-term gains depend on strategy. For example, if Zimbabwe upgraded airports, rail systems, roads, internet infrastructure, and tourism marketing properly, those benefits remain after FIFA leaves.
So the World Cup basically forces governments to finally clean their room because visitors are coming over.
That's actually a perfect analogy.
Thank you. My brain occasionally produces Wi-Fi.
Look at Rwanda. They aggressively branded themselves through sports sponsorships and conferences. Sports can reposition a country psychologically. Zimbabwe hosting even part of a World Cup could change how investors perceive the country.
Or expose our problems live in 4K Ultra HD.
That too, and that's why it becomes dangerous, because the whole world watches everything. Transport delays, electricity issues, political protests, currency instability. Nothing hides.
Imagine the World Cup final, and then, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, the VAR system is offline due to load shedding.
Twitter would destroy us instantly.
Destroyed, finished, cooked, roasted.
Let's be realistic, though. Zimbabwe currently lacks FIFA standard stadiums on the scale required.
National Sports Stadium is fighting demons already.
Exactly. FIFA requirements are strict. You need elite pitch quality, media facilities, transport links, security zones, medical systems, training facilities. It's not just build seats and vibes.
And hotels too, right?
Thousands of rooms. Remember, fans travel globally. Argentina fans, Japan fans, England fans, Brazil fans. The country becomes a giant temporary city.
I can already see Zimbabwean aunties converting garages into luxury lodges.
That would actually happen.
Hot water available depending on electricity schedule.
But infrastructure investment could reshape urban development. Imagine modern trains, reliable public transport, smart stadium districts, improved airports, better roads connecting cities. The World Cup could become an excuse to modernize quickly.
Or a shortcut to bankruptcy.
Correct again. That's the tension. Big vision versus economic reality.
You know what though? Emotionally, it would feel incredible.
Absolutely.
Like, imagine hearing commentators say, "Welcome to Harare for the quarterfinal between France and Brazil." Nah, man. African countries deserve those moments too.
I agree. Sports can unify people temporarily in ways politics cannot. South Africa 2010 became symbolic across the continent. For many Africans, it wasn't just South Africa hosting. It felt like Africa hosting.
Exactly. Even people who don't watch football suddenly became analysts. Everybody was shouting Waka Waka for 6 months.
True. And Zimbabwe has football culture. Passion is not the problem. The challenge is converting passion into systems.
That sentence sounded expensive.
Because it is. People underestimate how organized elite sport really is. Behind every 90-minute match is a machine. Logistics, security, broadcasting, ticketing, transport modeling, medical response, cybersecurity, crowd management. It's basically controlled chaos.
Meanwhile, Zimbabweans cross roads like it's a survival game.
You're joking, but crowd management would genuinely be critical. A stampede or major security incident could damage the country's reputation permanently.
Here's my issue though, Victor. Would ordinary Zimbabweans actually benefit? Because politicians love giant projects, while regular people still struggle with hospitals, schools, and jobs.
That's the strongest criticism. If public money funds prestige projects while basic services collapse, resentment grows fast. Brazil experienced this before the 2014 World Cup. Massive protests erupted because citizens asked, why are stadiums world-class while schools and hospitals are struggling?
Exactly. Football doesn't magically solve poverty.
No, but economic activity can help if distributed properly. The real question becomes, who captures the money? Large foreign corporations, political elites, or local businesses and workers?
Because I already know some connected guy would suddenly become official bottled water supplier to FIFA.
And probably overcharge everyone.
$3 for one small water bottle.
That happens at stadiums worldwide, actually.
Football robbery is international unity.
Let's talk about perception. Zimbabwe internationally often appears in headlines connected to economic struggles or political tension. A successful World Cup could temporarily rewrite that narrative.
Keyword, temporarily.
True, but image matters economically. Tourists don't just buy flights. They buy feelings, safety, excitement, curiosity, status.
So basically, countries market themselves like Instagram accounts now.
In many ways, yes. Mega events are giant branding campaigns.
But what if it backfires?
Then it becomes catastrophic. Imagine unfinished projects, corruption scandals, transport collapse, violence, power failures during live broadcasts. The world remembers disasters more than success.
So hosting the World Cup is basically inviting the entire planet into your house, hoping they don't open the wrong cupboards.
Exactly. And FIFA itself is controversial too.
Finally, somebody says it. People talk about FIFA like some holy football kingdom. Those guys have scandals every few years.
Corruption allegations have surrounded FIFA for decades. Hosting bids themselves have historically been controversial, so Zimbabwe wouldn't just be, it would be entering global political games.
Okay, but imagine the inspiration though. Kids seeing Mbappe or Vinicius playing in Zimbabwe, that changes something mentally.
Massively, sports exposure affects ambition. When children see world-class events locally, dreams feel physically closer. Youth participation in football could rise. Sports academies might develop. Media industries grow. Content creators benefit. Tourism creators benefit. Even local music gets exposure.
Zimbabwean artists performing at FIFA ceremonies would go crazy.
Exactly. The World Cup isn't just football anymore. It's culture, music, technology, media, fashion, digital content.
YouTubers would feast. Every creator with a smartphone suddenly becomes a sports journalist.
And that matters economically too. Modern economies increasingly monetize attention. A World Cup floods a country with global attention. The challenge is converting attention into long-term value.
You keep saying long-term value like a disappointed economics teacher.
Because countries often confuse moments with transformation. A fireworks show is not development.
Can we talk about social media chaos though? Zimbabwean Twitter during the World Cup? Pure madness.
Unmatched.
England fans trying salsa for the first time. Brazilians dancing at Join a City. Americans confused by cone bees.
And local memes would become global instantly.
One power cut during a match and we trend for 10 business days.
That's another reality of modern events. The internet amplifies everything. Tiny mistakes become global comedy.
Imagine Ronaldo asking, "Why is everybody selling airtime cards outside the stadium?"
Or fans bargaining for jerseys like it's Zimbabwe market.
Last price, my friend.
But actually, informal economies would explode during the tournament. Street vendors, transport operators, food businesses, accommodation rentals,
Some Zimbabweans would become temporary billionaires selling parking spaces,
and counterfeit merchandise.
especially counterfeit merchandise. All right, Victor, final serious question. Could Zimbabwe genuinely host the FIFA World Cup someday? Not emotionally, not patriotically, realistically.
Alone? Extremely unlikely in the near future. Jointly with regional partners? Possible someday, but only if several things improve dramatically. Economic stability, infrastructure investment, governance transparency, transport systems, energy reliability, international confidence.
So basically, everything.
Pretty much.
Damn.
But impossible things sometimes become possible slowly. Remember, many countries that now look developed once seemed chaotic too. Transformation usually happens through decades of consistent planning, not miracles.
That's the problem, though. People love miracle thinking. Everybody wants one event to save the country.
Exactly. A World Cup cannot replace good governance. It only magnifies whatever already exists. If systems are strong, the event succeeds beautifully. If systems are weak, the cracks become stadium-sized.
Stadium-sized cracks is insane wording. You know what I realized during this conversation? The World Cup itself is almost secondary.
Explain.
The real question is, what kind of country would Zimbabwe need to become before FIFA could even trust it with something that big?
That's the deeper point, because preparing for a World Cup forces countries to confront uncomfortable truths. Can your transport system handle pressure? Can your institutions coordinate? Can corruption be controlled? Can infrastructure be maintained? Can citizens benefit fairly?
So hosting the World Cup is almost like a national stress test.
Exactly. Football becomes the mirror.
Damn.
And honestly, maybe the value isn't even in successfully hosting. Maybe the value is in building the type of systems that could host.
That's annoyingly wise.
Thank you.
Still, though, I can't lie. Part of me wants to see Messi walking through Harare asking for directions while somebody tries to sell him roasted maize.
That would heal the continent spiritually.
Imagine commentators saying, "Tonight from the magnificent new Zimbabwe National Stadium." Yeah, that would hit different.
It would, but dreams are dangerous when they become distractions. Countries must ask, are we building monuments or building capacity?
And sometimes those are two completely different things.
Exactly.
This conversation made me weirdly hopeful and deeply stressed at the same time.
Which probably means it was honest.
Zimbabwe hosting the World Cup. Crazy idea.
Maybe.
Impossible idea?
Not necessarily.
Expensive idea?
Without question.
Would Twitter survive it?
Absolutely not.
All right, people. This has been Conversation Lab.
Where we test ideas until they either evolve
or collapse like a plastic chair at a crowded funeral.
Bro,
Too far?
a little.
Fair enough.
See you next episode.